The state of commercial space travel is changing so rapidly that even science fiction writers struggle to keep up. Three billionaire entrepreneurs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson, have invested billions of dollars in their space startups, each of which promises to carry paying customers on trips into space. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video, we'll talk about the space war between these three billionaires. But before we begin, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to never miss any updates. Now, let's begin. You may hear a lot about Elon Musk's SpaceX, but Tesla's CEO isn't the only mega-rich entrepreneur with grand visions for humanity's future beyond Earth's atmosphere. Amazon founder and billionaire Jeff Bezos has his space company Blue Origin and sells around $1 billion worth of Amazon stock each year to fund it. In addition, Richard Branson, a dazzling Englishman whose Virgin Group is trying its hand at everything from airlines to healthcare, founded his own commercial space company called Virgin Galactic. These three companies were all founded in the early 2000s, within a few years, but each of its own business model and plans for a future in space. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson together have a net worth of $400 billion, and each of them is fighting to win this space war. But which billionaire is truly winning this so-called space war? The perspective. The press has referred to Bezos, Branson, and Musk as the three so-called space barons because of their similarities. They've made their fortunes in other industries before focusing their locations on extraterrestrial ventures. Musk on online payments and electric cars, Bezos on Amazon, and Branson with his empire of Virgin-branded companies. And they all started their companies within a few years and became the most recognizable faces in the space race of the 21st century. But they are certainly not the only players in the game. There are hundreds of space startups in the United States and around the world, focusing on everything from satellite technology to circumferential hotels. SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin have also benefited greatly from partnerships with NASA and the US military, and all three continue to compete against each other. Elon Musk's SpaceX. Elon Musk founded SpaceX in 2002, years before he became Tesla's CEO. The company was born out of an idea Musk had to send a spaceship called Mars Oasis to the Red Planet. The vehicle would provide an experimental greenhouse and equipment to take photos of the planet and send them back to Earth. Musk hoped that the project would spark renewed interest within the US government to get to Mars. He pledged $20 million to fund the mission and tried in vain to buy some overhauled intercontinental ballistic missiles from Russia, but found that the project was well above his budget. He founded SpaceX to develop reusable rockets that would reduce the cost of blasting people and things into space. That's what California-based SpaceX has spent most of the last 2 decades achieving, and it's made some big strides. It has conducted numerous launches for commercial and government customers, and was the first private company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station in 2012. In 2020, it was the first to send humans into space and to the International Space Station, and in April 2021, NASA selected the company to land the first astronauts on the moon since 1972. SpaceX is also working on a broadband internet service with thousands of satellites called Starlink. The service aims to provide remote and rural areas with high-speed internet, and SpaceX recently announced that it has more than 500,000 orders and deposits. Ultimately, Musk believes that the future of humanity depends on its ability to colonize Mars. He said in 2020 that he wanted to build a city of millions on Mars by 2050. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. Like Elon Musk, Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos' fascination with space travel goes back decades. He was particularly impressed by Gerald O'Neill's vision of floating space stations that could house trillions of people once Earth's resources are exhausted. To give in to his obsession, Bezos founded Blue Origin in the year 2000 with a similar goal to Musk's company to make space exploration cheaper through boosters that can be recycled for future launches. The Kent, Washington Washington-based company operated in absolute secrecy into about 2003, and Bezos kept a low profile on his plans more than a decade later. For years, the company has been testing a suborbital rocket called the New Shepard, which is supposed to eventually take paying tourists to the edge of space in a pressure capsule. Passengers can catch a glimpse of the Earth through large windows and experience weightlessness for a few minutes. In May 2021, Blue Origin announced that the first flight would take place soon and the first seat will be auctioned off for a good cause. The company is also developing a larger rocket called New Glenn to launch payloads into low orbit, along with a secret future project called New Armstrong. If you see a pattern here, you're right. Blue Origin's launches are all named after former NASA astronauts. In 2019, Bezos revealed plans for a lunar module called Blue Moon, which the company says will be ready in 2024 and will eventually help build a sustainable human presence on the moon. Blue Origin offered itself a contract to land NASA astronauts on the moon and was beaten by SpaceX, but the company denies the decision. When Bezos announced plans to step down as Amazon's CEO in 2021, he said he plans to devote more time to his other ventures, including Blue Origin. And in a 2018 interview, Bezos called the rocket company his most important work. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic. Richard Branson's space company differs from Blue Origin and SpaceX in some important ways. Virgin Galactic is currently focusing on suborbital tourism instead of putting people and payloads into space. It also has a radically different method of sending spacecraft out of Earth's atmosphere. Virgin Galactic doesn't launch missiles directly from the ground like its rivals. Instead, its spacecraft are flown to 50,000 feet by a wide jet with two hulls called White Knight 2. From there, the ship detaches and glides for a few seconds before launching its rocket engine and beginning a near vertical ascent to about 300,000 feet. The company hasn't flown tourists yet, but has sold 600 tickets for $200,000 to $250,000 each. Although Virgin Galactic had planned to accommodate passengers in 2021, it has postponed those plans until next year, when the spacecraft reaches its final height. Customers can get out from their seats and spend a few minutes floating around in the luxurious cabins, looking at Earth or space. Virgin also plans to offer flights for research purposes. Once the spacecraft has retreated back into Earth's atmosphere, it will be flown to Virgin's facility in New Mexico for a runway landing. Virgin Galactic spacecraft, aside from their fuel, are fully reusable, and the company is committed to making the launch of things and people into space more economical and environmentally friendly. In March 2021, Virgin Galactic unveiled the VSS Imagine, the first of his next-generation Spaceship 3 vehicles. Previously, it had built and flown two Spaceship 2 spacecraft, including the VSS Enterprise, which was destroyed in a fatal crash in 2014. In the future, Virgin Galactic plans to operate a fleet of different vehicles that could transport tourists to space hotels, with researchers in floating labs, or enable lightning-fast transcontinental flights. In 2017, it spun off a company called Virgin Orbit, which is working to send satellites into orbit with a similar air launch system. Virgin Galactic is typical of Richard Branson's ventures and is publicly funded. Its shares peaked at around $60 each after approval by the FAA in June 2021. On the other hand, Blue Origin is privately owned, with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos stating that he would sell around $1 billion worth of Amazon stock annually to fund the company. After all, SpaceX is also privately owned and has raised billions of dollars in successive funding rounds. Major investors include Alphabet and Fidelity. Elon Musk says SpaceX charter flight fees will be used for missions to the moon and eventually Mars. All three billionaires have similar but different extraterrestrial ambitions, and their goal is for the private sector to get satellites, people, or cargo into space cheaper and faster than has been possible in previous decades. But this space war can be just as much about the eccentric personalities and selfishness of some of the richest men in the world. All of them are completely into it, and one cannot determine who is leading. Only time can reveal the winner. That's all for today's video, and thanks for watching. Before going anywhere, make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to watch more amazing videos on your YouTube dashboard. Don't forget to click the like button and share this video with your friends. Until the next video, stay tuned.